The Bahamas telecommunications company has breached its operating license and could now face up to millions of dollars in fines.
That's what's happening now, and joining us live with the latest is Candino Knows. Candino, tells us really, what does this mean for the largest telecom provider here in the country?
Thanks, Chris. Well, the news comes as the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority has finally completed its extensive investigation into BTC's nationwide service outage last June. Now, you might recall when landline and cell phone services were disrupted for practically an entire day last year following the failure of BTC's backup operating system, which should have kicked in following a power cut at BTC's Point Siena Drive office. And while BTC believes the network outage was complete sabotage, URCA's preliminary findings showing BTC's failure to establish adequate redundancies, resiliencies, and contingencies in its network design. We spoke with URCA Director of Policy and Regulation, Stephen Barreau, just moments ago.
We found a failure on their part in relation to the network design itself. There were inadequate redundancies in place to make sure that when a power outage happens, the network doesn't completely collapse. So that's the first thing. Secondly, we found signs of inadequate preventative measures taken at the location where the failure occurred, which is Point Siena Drive, the technical complex there. So we found a failure in adequate or inadequate preventative measures to prevent failures of this sort. And finally, we weren't happy with the BTC business continuity plan, the extent to which it was effective and to which it was effectively implemented. So we tell them up front that, look, if this comes to a final determination and you aren't able to change your mind, this is what we're going to tell you to do in 30 days or when we make that determination. What it gives them an opportunity to do, and the Communications Act requires that, is that it gives them an opportunity to fix it before we make a final determination.
Now, BTC has until January 25th to respond to the findings by URCA. The phone company can dispute any of the findings and provide proof to show otherwise. But Mr. Barreau is saying that BTC now has an opportunity to collect or to correct all of the deficiencies outlined in URCA's draft order to avoid any fines or penalties, which, as we said earlier, could possibly reach the millions.